I just hit a brick wall whenever I'm building a rig, and I hit this one job, and that is bodywork. I don't know if it's like, I know it's because I don't like doing it. I just don't know if that's the only reason why, or if it's just because it's monotonous and tedious, or whatever the reason. But whenever it comes to, you know, panel replacement, rust repair, anything like that, I hit a brick wall and I just stop. And I think that's one of the reasons why this wagon's been kicking around for so long, is just because I know it's been going to be a mountain of bodywork. You know, I could just leave the body alone and wheel it as it is, but I think by making the decision to sort of make this a combo off-road rig and hot rod / street rod, it's going to push me past that. I'm going to have to like face that fear and actually tackle some of these bodywork jobs that I've been dreading over the years. And I think that once I push myself through that, I think I'll get more comfortable with it, and then I'll want to do more and more of it in the future, because you know what? Learning new stuff, it's always fun. It's always fun. I feel like I'm really kind of embracing this whole hot rod style right now. I mean, if this was one of my normal patina builds that I would do, I would just leave all this rear fender well alone, not even worry about it. But because of what I'm doing with this rig, I'm actually going to do a little bit more work back here. The problem that I've encountered is by creating this new wheel opening right here, by cutting the body to fit our new tires, and the plan that I want to run these metal cloak tube fender plates, because I think it's just going to finish off the look, has left me with an issue, and that is that this body line right here that is pretty cool on the Willys Wagon, they got these raised body lines, it just sort of ends. And I could just leave it alone and have this bare steel here, but that's not what I'm doing this rig. This rig is like, I'm fully committed to this hot rod look, so I need to finish this. The issue is that this, I'm tired of doing sheet metal, I'm not gonna lie. And I also want to make this stronger. If I just put sheet metal on here and then bolt this plate up to it, it's not gonna be strong enough. But this raised piece of body stamping right here is actually exactly 3/16 of an inch tall. I discovered that when I was doing those hinge plates on the tailgate. I basically was able to make a backing plate for the hinge, and then it was also going to look like a stamped body line when we get it all finished with bodywork. So I can take advantage of that right here by adding a piece of 3/16 inch plate to the side of this body. I can have it cut on the plasma table, so I get these little arcs in here, so it looks like the stamped steel when it's all said and done. But more importantly, it'll give me a good, strong structure to bolt the tube fenders to. And when it's all said and done, I think it'll look really, really cool. Working our way forward along the body, there's a couple things I need to deal with here. You can see how these now, and how this new body line here looks really good, and the metal cloak flare is going to sit nice and flat. The tube fender is going to fit perfectly. The problem I have is that this piece of sheet metal right here and on the other side, these are the only two pieces that are really bad on the truck. There's a lot of warping in here. Part of that's my fault because when I was putting the bracing on the inside, I think I gave a little too much heat with the welder. Also, when all the structure was cut out inside, I think a lot of the pressure was put on this one panel, but all that's back in there now. I have to remove all this. It's just beat up, it's crushed, it's no good. So I need to basically take this 3/16. I'm gonna run it all the way along the bottom, to replace this body line, basically recreate it. I'll pull it up into this section right here, and that'll look good. And then I'll actually even continue it down along the bottom of the door. That'll give me something good and strong to mount my rock slider to. But I think at the same time, I think I may cut this whole sheet out. I think it's gonna be easier if I just come in here and basically remove this entire piece of metal, trying to sort of keep it where it's at its flattest, which is kind of up here and down here, and then just replacing this with a whole new piece of metal. That way I can also get it behind this piece of 3/16 right here. So that's what I'll do. I'll make this little chunk right here. It's gonna go up here and then come down. I might put a joint right there. But yeah, that's the next step. I gotta say, even like a month ago, this would have scared the bejeebers out of me, because sheet metal work always did that to me, because it's just such thin, light gauge stuff. But doing the floors, the transmission tunnel, and everything else, I think I've kind of really gotten used to working with this stuff, and I kind of dig it. I know this is the right decision, because the minute I did that vertical cut, I basically saw the panel relax and get back into shape, and now it just has the normal crown that these trucks have. They kind of roll, the body gets fat in the middle and then pulls back in, kind of like a JK, which is kind of ironic to put on a JK chassis. But now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna basically cut a piece of 18 gauge sheet metal that'll just fit in this space. I will scribe it, and then I don't know whether I'm gonna do a step flange on it and screw it in and weld it, or if I'm gonna butt weld it. I'm gonna see how it just sort of lays in there first, and then I'll make that decision. And then I'll just basically have to continue this on. But so far, body man. I want to put some type of rock slider on here, and then I'm going to tie it in to all this 3/16" plate that I'm adding to the side. That's just gonna make it good and strong. I'm actually gonna do something pretty cool up here with the front with the plate. I just had a brainwave on it. I'll show you that in a second. I actually have a complete unwelded rock slider kit for a Jeep JK that I got from the guys at Metal Cloak. And I got that from them since I figured I've got the Metal Cloak fenders in the front, Metal Cloak tube fenders going on the back. Why not go ahead and just make the Metal Cloak JK rock sliders work on this rig as well. So the plan is I'm just gonna keep the 3/16" plate coming up. That'll also help me clean up this door gap right here. It's a little messy. That's just a hot rod thing, I guess. That's what I'm that guy now. I'm a hot rod guy. I'm checking my gaps and stuff. And then plus it'll give me something strong to tie the rock slider into. Just gotta cut more steel. These bars will bolt onto the Jeep through the spheres like a typical Metal Cloak flare, and then also through these little plates that'll bolt right into our 3/16" rock guard. Now all I gotta do is repeat this entire process on the other side of the truck. I said in the beginning that bodywork was definitely not my cup of tea, but I've got to say, after spending more time working with this sheet metal, I think I've kind of got my groove about it. Definitely the right decision was to cut up a huge chunk of this body in order to replace it with new sheet metal, and I really like how the 3/16" plate is basically redesigning the body lines on this rig. And the coolest part is these rock sliders and tube fenders are going to look great once they're powder coated to match our wheels. Thanks once again for hanging out with me here in the Big Tire Garage. After all this work, I have definitely earned an adult beverage. We'll see you next time.